Let's look at the Flying Stars Feng Shui for September 2025, recognizing that this month there are only two really positive directions to work with. And that being said, it is really important that you pay attention to avoid stepping into landmines and disturbing the chi in not good places of your home, office, business. And this, if you ask me, sounds like an invitation to have a far quieter September. So let's look at it. My name is Lydia Griffith. This is the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. On this channel, I often read the charts of famous people because I think it helps us to better understand our own lives and our own astrology. If this sparks interest for you, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell so you don't miss a single video. We have lots coming out about September. I've got journal prompt for you. We have the Bazi Astrology forecast. I also do weeklies and daily shorts. So check all of that out. Bazi Astrology is of the 5 elements, whereas Western astrology is the planets and the stars in the sky. Always remembering, as above, so below. Together, both Western and Eastern astrology create a fuller picture for you to understand your karmic life journey. So welcome again. So we're going to go around the Bagua wheel and really kind of pinpoint the areas of your home to activate and utilize with human activity, with light, with movement, and the rest of the house that we want to keep quiet. Might be easier now that the kids are back in school. So last month, all of the flying stars landed in their home location. And so things felt very potent, possibly extreme in their expression, and no doubt it was impactful. So the best locations were magnified, just as the negative influences were also emphasized. So we had the best of the best and the worst of the worst in our homes last month. And I'm curious to know how that landed for you personally. If you had things that really went nuts in certain areas of your home, like, oh my gracious, things really are doing well, or, you know, something really went and fell apart. So when I'm reading from my blog, and I'll put the link to that below because there's so much information. So Flying Stars is an advanced system of Feng Shui. There is the annual star, which is very potent, even more so than the Lopan of your home, which is the stamp that is placed on your house from the time that it is constructed. And then any time that there is a roof, a new roof put on, or any time there is a major construction or renovation, the chi is then upgraded. So it's very important to keep track of this. It's an odd thing to say that we own a home or that we own land. Mama Earth owns all of this. And the more that we allow ourselves to be in a geomancy of co-creation with the energy of your home and property, the more that we can dance with the chi as it flows from hour to hour, day to day, week to week, month to month, and on and on. So the part that I'm going to highlight, obviously, is the monthly part. And I always like to start in the center. So the center this month of September is, we've got the 2 earth with the 9 fire, which is the season, or the period that we're in is period 9. So our annual star is the 2 earth. The period that we are in right now for 20 years is fire, so it's 9. And then we have a visiting star 4, which is wood. The 4 wood is a far cry from last month's really nasty 5-star that just placed a real stink bomb in the center of every home, office, and building. Almost like if anything could go wrong, it was likely to go wrong. The 4-star is depressed by the heavy earth of the center, the draining influence of the 9-star, and the added negative aspects of the 2 also being the earth. The caution here in the center of our homes, and again, that's the energy that radiates, permeates everywhere in our homes and offices, which is why that is the heart of your home. A lot of these open concept houses don't allow for there really to be a center. It's just one open swimming pool of chi. I've kind of waxed verbose about my distaste for open concept. It's just not the ideal. So the risk here for all of us is to watch burnout, stress, and a lack of creative mojo. So for September, continue with the annual palette, which is, the colors that we want to look at are very metal, gray, black, white, very zen. Adding something blue would be helpful here, and metal furnishings. And for September, that adding something blue to nourish the 4-star that's wood, to nourish it and weaken the 2-star, and also to kind of elevate and motivate a little bit of that creative mojo. But it's kind of a wonky direction, the center. Then we come to the southeast, and I always go to, in going around the low pond, I really like to highlight our annual direction, which this year is the southeast 3, riding close to the south, which is the placement of our year of the snake. The southeast, our annual star is 1 water. Our period 9-star is 8 earth. And then we have for this month a visiting 3 wood. The 3 and 1 work in harmony with the woody southeast. May cause some funky interactions because the 3-star is so disagreeable, argumentative, and rather feisty. There's too much conflict to benefit from the good fortune that could be found with the positive stars of 8 and 1 that we have for the year. So for September, I would display a red dragon-headed turtle prominently somewhere in the southeast to ease the tensions. And the colors for September, we want to weaken the 3 wood star with some warm, fiery tones like peach or carnation pink, lilac, and bringing in lush houseplants. Then we come to the south. The annual star is a 6 metal with the period 9-star 4 wood with visiting 8 earth star. And the 8, even though it's not the number, because now the number is 9 for our period, it still has a lot of energy for wealth and success. So in September, bring in fresh cut flowers or lush plants to boost the 4-star and add some fiery, bright tones. Not too much, but like a little rose or hot pink, something that just is like a little pop of color. 4 stalks of lucky bamboo in a wooden vase is another option. And to feel into this is one of our best directions for September, the south. It's a star-studded combination bringing success, wealth, and promotion. Could feel some tension. There could be some delays depending on the design of your home because you want to really work with the energy. So again, Bring in the lush plants. Bring in some pop of color. Make sure there is no heavy metal in the south. And also that, again, that the elements feel like they're in balance. So the focus is more fire and wood for September. But south is definitely the place to be doing your work, to have your chair facing in your office, to be doing anything important is in the south, especially when it's related to your job. Then we come around to the southwest. Here we have our annual 8 earth with the period 6 metal visiting 1 water. This is another positive location with the potential for leadership, leadership success, where you're leading people into something really vibrant. There's promotion, leaving a legacy. It's using your brilliance on display. It's a great location for a teacher to put his or her podium so that you're facing into that direction of the southwest when you're speaking to your students. There is a whole feng shui to the classroom. Maybe that's a video I should be doing. It's also a great location for a consultant, a manager, or a boss. So take all of that into consideration. And again, you can manipulate your desk and your chair so that you are sitting in that southwest area of your office. For September, continue to bring in metal, which will feed the future wealth star of the number 1 and motivate the 8 and the 6. Metal wealth items like a gold happy hoodie sitting on coins, white and cream. Gold, white, and cream are the palette that I would really lean into as far as bed linens or pillows or a throw blanket. It doesn't have to be a whole redecoration every month. It's just we're adding, again, little acupuncture, the cures and the colors. When we make these adjustments each month, consider it like an acupuncture needle creating an energy flow that's going to release something that's either protective, activating, or depressing. Sometimes we want to squash some negative energy. But for this, we want to bring it out. So gold can also be gold yellow, cream, and tan, white, even a little gray. So then we're going to come around. So again, south, southwest. I think those are our 2 best directions. Really use your compass and figure out where that is, again, in your office and in your home. So we come to the west. This is where our annual star 4 wood is. The period 9 star is 2 earth. Our visiting is 6 metal. This is a conflicted area, so conflicted. It could bode well for a therapist, consultant, writer, or lawyer. But overall, there's a conflict with the 4 wood and the direction of the west being metal. And then the 6 star coming in for the month also being metal. And the 2 star just adds this oppressive tone that can be really stressful. So the West is one that is like, depending on what your career is, you could work with it. But for the most part, I would really stick with our very Zen palette of black, white, gray, metal, and a little splash of blue to drain this. Just drain it out. All right, so then we're going to come around to the Northwest. The Northwest, sitting opposite of our snake, is the pig in the Northwest. So that's the Shui Po for 2025. We want to face Northwest with our back to the Southeast, always, always. So we have the 3 wood for the year, the 1 water for our period 9, and this month is visiting 5 star. Wherever that 5 star goes, It's a stink bomb and following in its wake. It is not a pleasant thing. This is about as stable as someone who has drunk a bottle of wine riding a bike down a hill. That is the best analogy I can give you for the direction of the Northwest. God help you if this is where your bedroom is, your office, or your front door. Not a direction to be using right now for the month of September. And remember, the month is September 8th all the way into the first week of October. We work with the lunar calendar. What could go wrong? Arguments that lead to divorce or breakup, stress that leads to a nervous breakdown, breakdowns of communication, good fortune turning sour. It's an area to be super mindful not to disturb. Keep it quiet. For September, metal colors, black, white, gray, with a little blue. Sound familiar? Yes. That is also in the West. Same thing. Blue elephant can really help be an acupuncture to release the tension and bring in more truth and honesty. Yeah. Any metal objects will help weaken the 5-star. We come around to the north. This is not a happy place for this year. We have the 7 metal visiting. We have for the period 9, the 5-star, and visiting for this month, the 9-star. Now, when you put the 7 metal with 5 earth, which is such a stink bomb, with 9 fire, that is a bomb. That is an explosion. That is a volcano erupting. That is, sometimes in a forest fire, there's like a big explosion with all of the energy. It is powerful detonation of negative force. Could be natural, could be man-made. It's violent, injurious, defaming, and can destroy a career. It can destroy a marriage. It is really a calamity waiting to happen. Be really careful with anything. Like, you do not want to have a propane tank in the north part of your property, or a water heater, or a gas stove. Just saying, be really mindful. Avoid this area of your home. If you can sleep somewhere else, sleep somewhere else. If you can use a different door for an entrance, use a different door. If you can do your work in a different office for the month of September and avoid being in the north, do it. This is all shades of blue, white, and metal. We want all the draining influences so that all of these stars are weakened. And this is how you control them. Quiet, no disturbing of the chi. The northwest, the north, the northeast, just coming all the way around to the east and the southeast. I told you this month is brutal. So you go all the way around the boggle wheel. South and southwest are our jewels. Place yourself there most of the time, and the other rooms use quietly, mindfully. And that's inside and out. So if you're somebody that uses a leaf blower, pick up a rake and a broom. I'm not joking. Think about what you're doing and where you're doing it. Okay? I want to keep you safe. The northeast for this year, we have the 5 earth, the period 9-star, 3 wood. Visiting this month is the 7 metal. And again, just like the north, that 7-star with the 5-star is battle. This is a terrible location of star combinations. There's defamation, lawsuits that are costly, arguments that turn violent or litigious. and surgery that leads to a worsening health condition, even death. Avoid the north and northeast if you can. Yard work can always come back in October. It will not be the end of the world. Yeah. 6-rod metal wind chime, or a chime, if, outside. We don't have wind chimes in the house. Outside is like the best cure. The metal breaks up the chi, the sound that it evokes. And another way you can do it is have a chiming, like a grandfather clock or a mantle clock that chimes on the hour. That's very helpful. If you have like a meditation bell that you can time it to go off every 30 minutes with a nice gentle bing, fabulous. Anything like that is helpful. Metal objects, and again, the colors, black, white, gray. Metal, metal, metal. All right, then we come around to the east. It's just like, no. This year, the 9-star, our big period 9, vibrant purple 9-star is in there. We have the period 9 metal 7 and the visiting to Earth. What a mess. The battle continues as we come into the east with these weakened stars 7 and 2, which are metal and earth, sitting in the east, which is wood, very strong wood. This is picking a nasty fight. This can cause health issues, stress issues, anxiety issues. Stress and anxiety are the root of most of our dis-ease. Yeah. But the 9 fire is just fueling this. There is no good outcome. And the fact that the East is our area for health and family could be a real problem for relationships if you live in a familial home and not by yourself with your dogs and cats. So for September, remove all fire colors, anything representative of fire. God help you if this is your kitchen. I'm sorry. And if it is, put metal cookie sheets over the burners to deflect the fiery element. Boost the blue color to drain the negativity along with metal objects, which is really weird to do, I know, in a woody direction of the east. Like a singing bowl or a dog bowl or cat bowl, an angel statue to protect health and familial relationships. And if this is an area where you typically, because it would make sense, display your family photos, take down the ones of anyone living and protect those relationships. So let's just go spinning around. Just a reminder. What are we looking at? Best directions. Best directions for September, south and southwest. Worst directions, all the rest. All the rest. I'm so sorry. The rooster on the world map falls across much of the eastern half of the United States up into Canada. The Year of the Snake highlights the central and eastern parts of Africa and all countries north of there, including Sudan, Israel, the Gaza Strip, Turkey, Greece, Ukraine, and specific to the yin wood snake is squarely on South Africa, Zimbabwe, and parts of Mozambique and Botswana. Which brings me, as I'm wrapping this video up, and thank you so much for staying with me with this. Your questions, your comments are so welcome. And if you're interested in a virtual Feng Shui consultation, it comes with 2 complimentary Bazi Astrology charts, the written ones, which are so rich and in depth. What a story your life is. And I would love to share your story with you. And it's important to recognize where you live, because there's an astrology to your location as well. Sometimes you move somewhere and life goes to shit, and it's because where you are is not working for your Bazi astrology. It's part of why I'm where I am. So the fact that I moved, that's what I'm saying. So anyway, it is not the best outcome, I'm sorry to say, for September, but we're going to work with this. And the best way to do that is to get more quiet in your home and on your property, to highlight and to activate the south and southwest and use that to your advantage while respecting, again, with quiet use, keeping those rooms dark, the rest of the house dark. You can draw the curtains and blinds, close the door to a room, especially if it's a room you don't typically use. And in that way, you're depressing the chi, right? So those rooms being dark and less used, the energy goes super quiet. And then the south, southwest, the windows, the blinds are up, the sun is shining in, and we're going to use these areas. And we're going to use them with noise and music, maybe the TV, and conversation, because those are the areas that are going to give us the best outcome. So I'm wishing you all the best for your month of September. And again, if you have questions or comments, would love to have those in the comments below. And until next time, friends, please be well.